Hello and welcome to AFRICUNIA Television, reaching you from our studio here in the nation's commercial capital, Lagos, Nigeria. I am Deborah Ezeh. Welcome to the news updates. And now looking into the African scene, Egypt's president on Tuesday raised the monthly minimum wage to about $172, a move designed to ease the burden of Egyptians who have been victims of painful austerity measures in recent years. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi announced in a statement that the minimum monthly wage would be 2,700 Egyptian pounds, relatively $171.5, an increase of 12.5% from the current 2,400 Egyptian pounds. Civil servant salaries are also expected to increase by 13%, and this is the third time President el-Sisi has raised the minimum wage since taking office in 2014. The announcement came after a meeting with the Prime Minister, the Finance Minister and other financial officials to discuss the upcoming budget. Bonuses for teachers were also announced. And in South Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa has opened a new vaccine manufacturing facility that he says will boost the country's capacity to produce its own vaccines for disease, including COVID-19. The factory located in Cape Town was also launched by Patrick Shanxiong, the South African-born founder of NatWorks, a multinational biotechnology firm based in the United States that has invested about $200 million to start the facility, according to local reports. The pandemic has revealed the huge disparities that exist within and between countries in access to quality healthcare, medicine, diagnostics, and vaccines. And now we head to Nigeria, where the Senate on Wednesday included the consensus mode of primary in the Electoral Act Amendment bill, as suggested by the President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired. Both chambers of the National Assembly, the Senate and the House of Representatives, however, deleted compulsory direct primaries from the bill. While the House gave options for parties adopting direct or indirect primaries, the Senate included direct and indirect primaries as well as the consensus mode as suggested by the President. And still in Nigeria, as federal government continues to explore new measures of raising revenue through tax reforms, there are concerns that no amount of tax revenue will be enough to finance the magnitude of fiscal indiscipline by the executive if the cost of governance is not addressed, even as debts mount. Currently, Nigeria's deficit is 7.05 trillion naira, with a higher figure expected at the end of the 2021 financial year. The government had targeted a budget deficit of 5.6 trillion naira in 2021. For the 2022 fiscal year, the government hopes to achieve a deficit of 6.4 trillion naira amid concerns about revenue generation. And now we head to the foreign scene, where the first aircraft carrying humanitarian supplies arrived in Tonga on Thursday, 5 days after the South Pacific island nation was hit by a volcanic eruption and tsunami that devastated communities and spoiled most of its drinking water. Australian Defence Minister Peter Dutton said its aircraft was loaded with supplies including water, desalination, shelter, kitchens, and a sweeper to help remove ash from the airport. A second Australian aircraft is due to make the flight on Friday, and the delivery of the supplies was contactless to ensure Tonga remains free of coronavirus. And in North Korea will bolster its defense against the United States and consider resuming all temporarily suspended activities, an apparent reference to a self-imposed moratorium on tests of nuclear weapons and long-range missiles. Tensions has been rising over a recent series of North Korean missile tests. A U.S. push for fresh sanctions was followed by heated reactions from Pyongyang, raising the specter of a return to the period of so-called fire and fury threat of 2017. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un convened a meeting of the powerful Politburo of ruling Workers' Party on Wednesday to discuss important policy issues, including countermeasures over hostile U.S. policy. And still on the foreign scene, the U.S. Supreme Court on Wednesday rejected former President Donald Trump's request to block the release of White House records sought by the Democratic-led congressional panel investigating last year's deadly attack on the Capitol by a mob of his supporters. The decision means the document held by a federal agency that stores government and historical records can be disclosed even as litigation over the matter continues in lower courts. Trump's request to the justice came after the U.S. Court of Appeal for the District of Columbia Circuit on December 9th ruled that the businessman turned politician had no basis to challenge President Joe Biden's decision to allow the record to be handed over to the House of Representatives Select Committees. And now we head to the sports scene, where Nigeria maintained its winning streak at the ongoing African Cups of Nations, beating Guinea-Bissau 2-0 in their last Group D match of the competition. Goals from Sadiq Umar and Captain William Trust Ekong gave the three-time champions the 100% scorecard in the group stage. Super Eagles dominated most parts of the first half, but poor shooting and lack of composure in front of goal, Umar being the main culprit, denied them an early lead. And finally, Ralph Rangnick defended Cristiano Ronaldo after the Manchester United star petulant's reaction to his substitution cast a shadow over their 3-1 win at Brentford on Wednesday. Ronaldo's grumpy response to Rangnick's decision to hold him off in the 71st minute that could prove the evening's lasting image. Shaking his head and muttering to himself, Ronaldo appeared to say something to Rangnick as he brushed past him. Rangnick initially ignored Ronaldo before sitting next to him and passing the Portugal forward on the leg as he attempted to passate him. The 36-year-old will raise fresh questions about his willingness to fit into Rangnick's system after his latest underwearing display. However, Rangnick refused to criticize Ronaldo when asked about his behavior. And that's all we can take on news update today. Do follow all our social media platforms on Jointim, Pangram, Instagram and Facebook respectively. Visit our website on www.africunia.tv. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay connected and updated to our news and other programs. Once again, I'm Deborah Ezeh. Many thanks for joining me.